It's Cadwell Park, round 4 of the 2016 Thundersport GB Championships. Time for the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup. There you see number 40, Rob Aimable, on the Blackstone Racing Honda. A number of these riders, of course, the vast majority of them rookies, one or two that have failed to qualify for the main race. 70 riders that went into qualifying in the Thundersport 500 Championship at the start of this weekend, and that's why we've got ourselves another grid full here. Number 66 there, Chris Jones, second on the grid as they get away from the line. Rob Aimable struggling to keep his front wheel down. He has been a race winner in the Thundersport 500 Cup before. No points on offer here in the championship, just a lot of pride and a few trophies as well. We've seen some interesting action over the last few rounds in the Thundersport 500 Cup, and it is Rob Aimable that has the advantage early on, but he's not for long. Up the inside of him looks like Dave Moss, number 17 of the senior cup riders, who is on unknown territory really being in this race, Dave Moss, so he would certainly expect to fight for the victory. He's up against some interesting opponents, shall we say, here. Some of these guys are not used to being at the sharp end of races, and there is the mud wrestler, Mick Marshall, number 38, going up the inside and flying through. Mick, who got that nickname over at Donington after going down into Craner curves and then attending the next race without even washing his leathers. It looked a right mess, I've got to be honest, but there he is, the mud wrestler. It's his new nickname. Dave Moss at the moment has the advantage, number 17, as they go through Hall Bend. Rob Aimable in second place. Number 194 in third there is Jordan Ashington from Bradford. And then it is number 66, Chris Jones from Huddersfield, one of the Osler team riders. 117, just tucked up behind, George Davies from Shirley on the No More Straps Racing Honda. I said before, in Thundersport 500 there are some intriguing team names that these guys come up with as they all come across the line. Dave Moss it is with the biggest advantage. 86, Oliver Dean from Castleford on the OC Graphics Racing Honda has got himself into the mix as well. He's inside the top 5 or 6. Let's have a look when they come into Park Corner. Big lead this for Dave Moss early on. You'd expect nothing less. Second now for 194, Jordan Ashington. There was Oliver Dean. Number 116 there, the blue and green Honda, is George Williams from St Neots. Moss there, what's that, a good 3 or 4 second lead he's got. Oliver Dean then up ahead of 185, Jamie Hudson from Sheffield. 333 coming through is Sam Palfreman from Nottingham. Sam has been on the top step in this cup format before as well. So Rob Aimable, who started out, there he is, in pole position, is just struggling here in the opening stages of this race. There he is, just being passed by Sam Palfreman. Just behind him then is Mick Marshall, the mud wrestler from Rawmarsh on the Rare Fast Racing Honda. And there's number 86 again, Oliver Dean, blue CB 500. A class that first came into Thundersport GB in 2009. And it used to be known as, of course, the CB 500 Cup, the Thundersport 500s. And there was still a group of riders that wanted to continue racing, but it was on its knees, the class. And came into Thundersport GB. Dave Stewart and co revived the series, and look where it is now. We have got 2 full grids full of riders, and well, you are eligible to race a Suzuki or a Kawasaki in the championship, but the Honda, of course, is the weapon of choice. Far more of them for a start, although if you have got a road going Honda CB 500, I very much doubt you've gone more than a few weeks without having a phone call from a Thundersport 500 rider trying to take it off your hands. What Phil Doody's done with his. The old boy's hung up his leathers, he's not racing anymore. That was in beautiful condition. There is number 194. Again, we see Jordan Ashington from Bradford. Sam Palfreman just starting to cut his way through the pack now. That rookie vest will be there for not much longer the way he's riding. Dave Moss then in control. His lap times are looking pretty good, but the man who's actually faster is this man. 3:33 on that last lap. Sam Palfreyman, just marginally quicker than Dave Moss. Now, I can tell you that none of these riders will have pit boards. You can see there is pit wall. None of them have got pit boards, so it's all about just having a feel around. Dave Moss, well, he hasn't looked behind him yet, but Sam Palfreyman, again, across the line there, was the quicker of the front 5 or 6 riders. Further back there, we see number 111 and 89, a couple of rookies going at it. 89 is Gary Smith, 111 Paul Anyon. Just been handed a note in the commentary box suggesting that Phil Doody, who it seems cannot go a week without getting a mention, and he can pay me in instalments later. The rumour is that he's returning for Alton Park aboard a special liveried 500. You believe that, you believe anything, who knows? One thing is for sure, Phil Doody will not be able to turn up and replicate his previous best result at Alton Park. Of course, on that particularly sunny afternoon, he had an excellent pit coordinator giving him signals from the side. Anyway, let's concentrate on this race. 117 there, George Davies behind Sam Palfreyman, the man on the move. Dave Moss still comfortable out front, but the lead is being cut into by a good second a lap here at the moment by Palfreyman, who's now got to try and make a move on 194 Jordan Ashington. Thought about it going into the hairpin, but no, not for now. Further back, massive group of riders. 85 there is Roy Wilson, from another one from Raw March on the Rare Fast Racing, so a teammate to the mud wrestler. 18 as well there was Chris Bramley from Nottingham on the JBM Racing Honda, but it is Dave Moss from D-Side on the JCM Racing Honda, a man who, coming into this weekend, was in the runners-up spot for the Senior Cup overall. Here's 167 and 49, Chris Cooper and Steve Waring. Good opportunity here for one or two new names and faces to get themselves on the TV screens. Who's going to find themselves on the podium? It looks like Moss and Palfreyman definitely will be, but who will get the final spot? At the moment it looks like Jordan Ashington will get that. The George Racing Honda. There'll be 2 races for them here. Look at Palfreyman. Since he's got past number 194 Ashington, he has closed that gap down on Dave Moss, and we could be in for quite an exciting last lap or two. Dave Moss will still get some senior points here in this race, and well, he'll need them as well, because Colin Mooney at the moment is championship leader overall. Look at this lot having a proper dust up here in the closing stages, going through the chicane. All good fun, brilliant bikes to ride. And Sam Palfreyman here, well, if he can qualify high enough, could be a rider to look out for in the next few seasons in the Thundersport 500 main championship overall. I don't think that Dave Moss has had a look over his shoulder yet. If he looked around his shoulder a little while ago, he would have seen a huge lead, but he's running into a bit of bother now. There you go, he's just had a look under his arm, and now is he waving someone through then? He had his arm out. That's interesting. Dave Moss, is he getting bored out front here in this Thundersport 500 Cup race? He's just waved Sam Palfreyman through, has he? Yes. Well, that is interesting. 333, Sam Palfreyman from Nottingham going through on Dave Moss. Dave Moss now shadowing his every move. Not sure really what happened there, but Dave Moss has lost his lead, whatever way you look at it. Chris Cooper being shadowed there by Mick Marshall. Then 18, Chris Bramley and George Williams on that green machine. There is Rob Amable. So Rob at the moment from pole position is looking like being just inside the top 8. Hasn't been able to threaten for the win overall. Just in the background there you see number 8 and 84, Harley Smith and Andrew Manchester. They're just inside the points overall, just inside the top 15. Oh, is that the mud wrestler? It is! He's pulled out, he's parked up, he's going for a mud bath. Mick Marshall's had enough, and so he's just going to watch the rest of the race there from the sidelines. Sam Palfreyman, it is that still leads this one from Dave Moss, and Moss here might not be able to get back past him again. Around barn corner they go, and onto the start-finish straight. 2 more laps left here in the Thundersport 500 Cup. Sam Palfreman leads from Dave Moss. Big gap then back to the guys fighting it out for 3rd place. Mick Marshall's no longer a part of that group. So it will be between Jordan Ashington and George Davies for that podium position. Then in 5th place here is Oliver Dean. 6th is number 66, Chris Jones. Jones, one of the freshman riders with the orange bib on into turn 1. Sam Palfreman, likewise, another freshman, in comparison to Dave Moss, who is one of our senior riders out there. Let's just see how many seniors there are. Paul Lanyon is a freshman and a senior. There's something for you, and there has been a change. And Dave Moss has decided here, with just a little while left of this race, that he's going to pounce on Sam Palfreman, so maybe we will get the race we wanted after all. Dave Moss has gone through, then he looks down at his bike on power, loses a little bit of power, but Palfreman can't go underneath him into the mountain. Well, they both know that each other is there now, because Dave Moss seemed to go to sleep a little while ago. Now he's woken up again. Who will get the win between Palfreman and Moss, the senior rider and the freshman? The master and the apprentice, you could argue. Dave Moss here, exiting barn corner, and they head onto the start-finish straight for this, their final lap overall. Dave Moss comes across the line. We'll see the last lap flag. Sam Palfreman, he knows, is just tucked up behind him. Still in 3rd place is George Davies, just ahead of Jordan Ashington. There you see them. Ashington there, number 194. Dave Moss, it's worth remembering, is out there on borrowed machinery. You can probably see the number 17 has been stuck over another number, so someone's been kind enough to lend him the bike. And so there you see the change. So Moss has lost out on 1st place again now as Palfreman goes through on it. Looks like one of the donkey box racing machines, doesn't it? That one that Dave Moss is on. He's going to have another look here up the inside into Mansfield, and he gets the job done. Palfreman will fight back, surely. Brilliant racing here from these two. This is the final lap, so they'll come into the bottom of the mountain here. Can Palfreman get him into the mountain? It doesn't look like... No, he won't here. Maybe into the hairpin. He's going to have to get the drive over the top of the hill, though. Brilliant drive from Palfreman as they now go into Hall Bends. They're almost side by side. Palfreman then has got to be into the hairpin. He's definitely going to have a look here, or is he? No, it might be into barn. Well, or a run to the line, who knows? Oh, out of the last corner here, they're about to go into barn. He gets into the slipstream, it's going to be a run to the line. Oh, and Moss is having a good look over his shoulder. Is he letting him through? He is. Well, Sam Palfreman wins the race, and Dave Moss has led him through. So, it's a win there for Sam Palfreman. Dave Moss takes 2nd place, George Davies 3rd, Jordan Ashington finishes in 4th, Oliver Dean 5th, and Chris Jones in 6th. Top 3 on the podium there, race winner Sam Palfreman.
Sam, well, winner in that race, and indeed 2nd in the Freshman's Cup, so it's a double bubble.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for any more, to be honest with you. I was a bit gutted. I missed the first race, so I just missed it, to be honest. I forgot my transponder. I left my transponder on my wet bike, and I thought, oh, I got halfway down here. I thought, oh my God, I better go and get my transponder on, otherwise not let me on, and I'd missed it.
Oh, never mind. Have you got anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my dad for helping me out loads. Ron Haslam Race School again. And I'd like to thank my wife and my daughter Leah for supporting me all the way through everything.
Cadwell Park, the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup Race 2. A few different names in this one. Earlier on in Race 1 we saw Sam Palfreman winning from Dave Moss. Well, you won't be seeing that happen again, because Sam Palfreman is not out on the grid here for this race. Dave Moss is. Rob Aimable is on pole position. There's Dave Moss with number 17, 185 is Jamie Hudson. Here's Oliver Dean, number 66, just up ahead there is Chris Jones. Rob Aimable on pole position, just finished 7th in race 1. Can he better that here in race 2? It's a good start from Rob Aimable, you have to say. Got away from the line much better this time. And he will get the whole shot into turn 1 as this group of orange jacketed riders make their way around turns 1 and 2. Aimable leads into park. Second for 194 Jordan Ashington, who was just missed out on the podium in the first one, finishing 4th. Number 47 there is Mark Shaw on the Blast Racing Honda. And Rob Aimable there, blimey, he's all on the grass coming into the gooseneck there. Rob Aimable, you do not want to do that, not at the gooseneck. 116, further back there is George Williams on the GW Racing Honda again, another rookie, another freshman for this season. Aimable there, a funny line to use coming out of the chicane, has a good look over his shoulder. He'll see Ashington and then Dave Moss there. 117 George Davies was on the podium earlier on. Number 8 Harley Smith with a good start over the top of the mountain and into Hall Bends then. And Rob Aimable looking like he means business this time around. Couldn't get on terms with the top 3 or 4 last time out. He's there now. 66 there is Chris Jones. Chris was in the top 6 in race 1 as well. Dave Moss there trying to find a way through and get out front. Now the back 49 and 25. 49 Steve Waring, 25 is Ben Martin. Here comes Dave Moss then, up the inside. He's got the inside line on Ashington and then just tucks in behind him into turn 1. The back there, 3 or 4 riders dusting each other up for the top 5 places, but it's still Rob Aimable who's able here just to pull out a bit of a lead. A few puffs of smoke coming out the rear end of his motorcycle at the moment. Dave Moss has got up into 2nd place ahead of Ashington. 4th is Jamie Hudson, number 185, and there is, again, number 25, Ben Martin from Dover. Oh, it's a bit of a trip back, that is, from Cadwell Park, or from anywhere, in fact. Dover is not close to too many circuits. I suspect Brands Hatch is about as close as you are going to get. Moment in this race, Rob Aimable has got the advantage again. Having a good look around at the opposition on the exit of the new chicane. 185, 117 there. Jamie Hudson and George Davies desperate to get themselves up onto the podium. Rob Aimable though, really flat out here. Every time he looks over his shoulder, he can see Dave Moss just inching closer and closer. Jordan Ashington here, a freshman. 3 of the top 4 riders at the moment are freshmen. Rob Aimable, Jordan Ashington, George Davies, Dave Moss, a senior cup rider. Just see there, number 50, Roger Biggs. Rob Aimable, I don't know what he was expecting to happen within half a lap, but he has another look over his shoulder on the start-finish straight. And there's a change just there for 2nd place. Oh, that was close. Dave Moss almost lost 2nd there. Go across the line. Further back is 85, Roy Wilson. 116, George Williams. 106 and 84, Thomas Hudson and Andrew Manchester. These guys at the moment looking to get themselves as many points as possible. Andrew Manchester, another of our senior cup riders, currently in just inside the top 15 overall. He will score senior cup points, but there is no Thundersport 500 Cup Championship. There is a freshman championship which is being led, or was being led, by Seasman. So Rob Aimable, his lead of around about a second has come down, and he's a bit twitchy on the exit there of Mansfield. 3 riders here, all in contention. You've got Aimable leading, Moss in 2nd, number 17, and Ashington in 3rd place. Into the mountain we go. Moss with far more experience than riders around him. Both of those riders in their first full season of racing. Aimable leading and Ashington in 3rd. Where will Moss try and get the move made? Will he have a look up the inside into the hairpin? Or will he wait until the start-finish straight? No, can't get it done there. You won't get it done round barn corner. Onto the start-finish straight we go. We'll pick off another lap. Further back, there's Oliver Dean and Chris Jones. Those guys just outside the top 6. Here is the top 3 across the line altogether. Aimable, Moss, Ashington. Again, Oliver Dean and 66 Chris Jones. Then it's the mud wrestler Mick Marshall ahead of Harley Smith. It's for 7th and 8th, that battle. Sorry, 8th and 9th are just inside the top 10. Going into Park Corner then, brilliant stuff from Ashington. He goes up the inside, but he's run out of room. He's on the grass. Dave Moss has come through, Aimable in second. And, well, question is, has Jordan Ashington been able to rejoin the circuit? I think he has, in third, but a bit further back. The mud wrestler, 38 McMarshall, just goes up underneath Harley Smith into Park Corner. And so he'll move himself up into the top 8. Dave Moss leads then around Mansfield. A bit of a wide line there from Moss, and he might struggle to hold on to the lead into the chicane. Nope, he's still there. Rob Aimable just tucked up behind him. There is, in the background, number 194, Jordan Ashington. So he's done well to get himself back on terms there. Rob Aimable had to sit up to prevent himself from hitting into Dave Moss at the bottom of the mountain. Mid-corner speed here from Rob Aimable looks to be a lot quicker than Moss, although Moss a little better on the brakes. Into the hairpin we go. Ashington's not out of this one. In the blimey, Rob Aimable there, completely out of the saddle, really struggling on the exit of the hairpin. So Dave Moss has managed to eke out a bit more of a lead as he goes across the line and gives a nod to Mark and Dave, who are out on flag duty, of course, our start line team. Further back, Jamie Hudson, Chris Jones, Oliver Dean. There they are, Dean and Jones going into turn 1. The rookie Jones tried to find a way past. Out front, it's still Dave Moss, just as it was in race 1 earlier. There is Jordan Ashington. Jordan, number 194 from Bradford. And there's been a change there as well. Further back, 66 Chris Jones now moves up into the top 6 ahead of Oliver Dean. Dave Moss still leading, and he looks down at his bike there. What's happened? Something going wrong with the downshift, and he's allowed Rob Aimable through. So Rob Aimable now takes the lead of this race, and Dave Moss is pulling out. There's a problem here with the motorcycle, unfortunately. He's on borrowed machinery, but having led the race, Dave Moss is pulling out. Rob Aimable has a good look over his shoulder. Well, he's parked up exactly the same spot as Mick Marshall did in race 1. He's obviously off to the mud bath as well, unless they know something we don't, and there's something up on the hill there. Big wheelie from Rob Aimable, and Jordan Ashington closes right in. So it's going to be between these two. Aimable, number 40, 194, Jordan Ashington. Down into the hairpin. We're getting to the closing stages now of this Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup. This, of course, promotes either Hudson or George Davies up into a potential podium spot here as well. Now, they might not know about that just yet. 2 laps to go as they cross the line. Can Jordan Ashington get himself on terms with Rob Aimable? The lap times are almost identical, both of them there, posting 49.3. Coming through here, see the winds getting up a bit. Number 116 and number 167, George Williams and Chris Cooper going around barn corner. Here is Rob Aimable then. What has happened to Jordan Ashington? Well, he must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's miles away from Rob Aimable now, and they were right on top of each other a moment ago. There is 117 George Davies, he's in third. Jamie Hudson here, number 185, the rider from Sheffield, is in fourth. So Aimable, barring any mistakes, has got this one in the bag. There'll be one more lap to go when they cross the line. Again, having a good look over his shoulder. Aimable from Dover on the Blackstone Racing Honda. And this one is comfortable for him. Doesn't look like Jordan Ashington here is going to be able to put up a fight or close that gap down. That's way too big now. So a nice last lap to enjoy here for Rob Aimable. Third place looks like it's going to George Davies, and fourth to Hudson. That's obviously after Dave Moss has pulled out of the race with some sort of mechanical failure. So across the line, he will see the last lap flag in a moment. Maybe that battle for third isn't quite over just yet. George Davies and Jamie Hudson, not more than a second between them. Across the line though for Aimable, just one more rotation of this Cadwell Park circuit for him. And it will be another winner's trophy for him in the Crank Racing Thundersport 500s. Further back, there will be Senior Cup points on offer to this man here, Mick Marshall. Also, Chris Cooper will pick up Senior Cup points, likewise for Andrew Manchester and Paul Anyon. So half a lap left then for Rob Aimable. It might be a long trip back to Dover, but it will be a pleasant one with a trophy on the dashboard of the van when he packs the bike away later. This battle for third continues there between freshman George Davies, number 117, and Jamie Hudson, number 185. So having started on pole position, he's still having a good look over his shoulder. He's a bit cautious here in the closing stages. Rob Aimable will take the win. And there he is, pointing over towards one or two friends and fans that he's got there, and Dave Moss as well, who's probably watching on over the top of the mountain. He can even afford a cheeky look and a wheelie to the crowd at the mountain as well. So through Hall Bends, I would imagine that just for safety's sake, he'll probably just have one last look over the shoulder on the exit of the hairpin, just to make sure that he's not completely messed this one up. Out he goes, there it is. And he should be comfortable enough with this one. Out of the last corner, checkered flag awaits. He will have a look out, but it's all done. The win goes to Rob Aimable. Good job done by him. Second place to another freshman in Jordan Ashington. And George Davies does cross the line to make it 3 freshmen in the top 3 ahead of Jamie Hudson. Chris Jones was 5th and 6th for Steve Waring. That's it then from the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup. Rob Aimable, the race winner here at Cadwell.
Rob, got a tough race there with Dave and the mob. Really good. I can see by your smile that you're exceptionally happy. And of course, third in the Freshman Cup as well. You must be made up.
I am made up. I had troubles in the last race. My bolt came out of my rear spindle, so put it back in and just went out there and rid my heart out with blue. So.
Excellent. My missus always says that she has the same trouble, actually.
Yeah.
Have you got anybody to thank?
I'd like to thank my missus overall and my granddad, Roy. He was here yesterday. So, yeah, thank you. And Thundersport GB.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you very much, mate.
Lovely. Thank you very much.